brought flowers. It's very sweet of you.
You look amazing.
You don't look so bad yourself. Come in.
Well, if your culinary skills are even close to your ability to set a mood, I'm in for a treat.
Well, actually, I didn't make dinner.
I thought that was the point.
I figured, why wait? Why do we need to waste any time? Which do you prefer? The couch? The floor? Or just standing up?
What's gotten into you?
I'm just trying to help you out. I mean, isn't there $100 on the line if you get to nail the woman with HIV?
I'm not sure what's going on here.
What was I unclear about? You're the guy who's always up for a challenge, right? Hey, I have an idea. Why don't we up the ante and do it bareback? What's the matter? The risk of catching HIV from me a little too much of a challenge for you?
Wouldn't be unprotected. I use a latex condom and spermicidal jelly, and since your viral load is undetectable, the chances of me contracting HIV are minimal.
Great, you've done your homework, so what are we waiting for?
It's not your medical status is slowing me down. It's your unusual method of foreplay. Call me crazy, but it doesn't particularly turn me on to be badgered and accused the minute I walk in the door. Now, I don't know what's going on here, but you're obviously insulted or furious somehow that I'm here, even though I was invited, so forgive me. But I'm gonna pass on your little offer.
Oh, are you sure about that? I mean, there is $100 on the line, and I wouldn't want you to lose a bet.
That's the second time you mentioned
I
$100.
heard
What are you
on
talking
the
about?
phone, Patrick. You bet someone $100 that you could get into bed with me. Well, you know what? You're gonna have to pay up on that one because I wouldn't sleep with you if I was virus-free and you were the last man on Earth. When I first met you, I thought you were the most shallow person I'd ever met. I guess this just proves that first impressions are the most accurate.
You know what happened, how nice you were being during the epidemic. Complimenting me on how I was taking care of things, worried about my lack of sleep.
Obviously, I was sick and delirious.
No. Not when you reassured me about how I was dealing with my father.
Well, I guess you fooled me then, didn't you? You do a reasonable impression of a human being with depth. Maybe even the hint of a soul. But that's just surface. Patrick the surgeon is exactly all flash and technique. The very qualities that make it possible for you to cut into somebody's brain. Arrogance, lack of empathy, the inability to connect, make you the soulless jerk that you truly are.
I'm really sorry you heard my side of the conversation.
I bet you are.
Gotta hand it to you. When you're right, you're right.
Yeah, jury's still out on that.
No, the verdict is officially in. I was sure even you couldn't pull it off, but obviously you're more persuasive than I thought.
Just have to approach it from the right angle.
Well, if you ever teach a seminar, sign me up. I'd love to acquire your technique. In the meantime, a bet is a bet. You got her to do it. Here's your money. You did a good thing, Patrick. My patient desperately needs a surgery, and her mother was terrified to consent.
Well, understandably so. Child needing brain surgery is never easy for a parent.
Well, without it, a patient would have died. By convincing her mother, you saved a little girl's life.
Yeah. $20 a game.
Be warned. I'm good.
Well, I'm already up $100 tonight, and as good as you think you are, so much better.
Excuse me, Brendan. Have you seen Patrick? I need a surgical consult.
He left. Said something about having a beer at Jake's.
How about that?
All yours.
You know what?
I'd rather have a dance instead.
I think I can manage it. Still haven't told me what brought you here tonight.
Oh, Jake's place that I used to be able to come for a game of pool. Spin around the dance floor, and a cute boy that didn't ask a lot of questions.
Well, this is me shutting my trap.
Jake's used to be a place that I would go when I needed to have a beer, play a game of pool, and hang out with a cute boy that didn't ask a lot of questions.
Well, this is me shutting my trap.
Okay. What just happened?
I stepped on your toe. You are.
Can I have a word with you, please?
Go right ahead.
You're really not going to make this easy for me,
Should
are
I
you?
make it easy on you?
Okay, I'm here to apologize.
Go ahead.
I made some assumptions, and I shouldn't have. About us, you know, before.
Refresh my memory again. Is that about Mr. Conway's lavish cat?
It was about the bet.
The one I supposedly made about sleeping with you. How's that go again?
Are you seriously gonna make me say this in front of everybody? About the bet, I heard you talking on the phone to someone that you could get a woman to do it. I thought I was really upset.
So instead of confronting me or, God forbid, asking me, you just thought you'd plan an ambush.
I said I was wrong. I shouldn't have dared you to nail the HIV positive woman. The bet was about a patient, and it was totally innocent, and I made a complete fool out of myself. Aren't you just dying to rub my nose in this? Well, what's with the self-control?
I'm in awe. I'm amazed at the progress you've made.
I know.
See, you obsess over morality and truth, and you think you know better about everything and everyone. And this time, it came back to bite you. At least the only person you hurt is yourself. Hey, I'm gonna go get a drink, and then I'm gonna play a game of pool. You should come over.
Is there anything else?
You really had to make me do that, didn't you? You had to make me grovel in front of
hold it down
Carly.
to your head. You obviously thought that apologizing was more important than saving face. Look at it as a growing experience. Now, is there anything else?
Hey.
Well, if there's something else you want to say to me now, it's probably a good time.
Yeah, actually, you know what? There is.
Okay.
I was wrong about tonight, but I was not wrong about you. You are the most conceited man that I have met this side of the Atlantic. You know what? Maybe the other side, too, because I don't know if you remember, but I used to live in Paris.
And that bothers you?
Maybe somewhere deep inside there's a part of you that's worth knowing, but I blew that because of... whatever. You continue to prove that you are a jackass. I think you've picked the right woman to do that with, too. You know what, come to think of it, you two are perfect for each other.
Where were we?
On a road to nowhere. I have to put on the brakes.
there, Robin?
This is all your fault.
Well, I'm sure that's true. What did he do?
As chief of staff, shouldn't you have made some rule that forbids staff members from dating each other?
Imagine all the pain that would have saved us, huh?
Well, it's not too late for me. Please stop me before I do something really stupid like give in or give up. I mean, Dr. Patrick Drake is the most pompous, arrogant... The fact that I was even tempted, I mean, I really should have my head examined.
Excuse me, Dr. Scorpio. Have you seen the Conway files?
Yeah.
So go ahead, ask me.
Ask you what?
If I slept with Carla.
Like I would believe anything you had to say.
Doesn't really matter if you believe me or not, you're still dying to ask.
Actually, I don't really care.
Well, you could have fooled me.
You know, I'm sure you can find some other chauvinist pig around here that would love to hear your gory.
Patrick, have you spoken to your father lately?
I haven't seen him in a couple of days. Why?
Oh, well, the floor nurse just said he didn't show up for rounds, and he hasn't answered his page all day. He's just disappeared.
Here I am asking everyone from the chief of staff to the kid that serves the mashed potatoes in the cafeteria if they've seen Noah Drake. And what does Patrick do? He invites the first warm body that happens to stroll by for a night out at Luke's Casino. Not that I'm jealous, please. I mean, I'm glad it's coming down. At least I have my emotional priorities straight, which is more than I can say for him.
Fourth floor nurse's station. One moment. Do you want to know what happened to Patrick's father or not?
Is it just me, or is this room loaded with intrigue tonight?
Well, it's human nature. We're all gamblers.
Is that why you invited me to this party when you really wanted to be with Robin?
I guess Patrick was right. You did go on a bender. Do you even know how much you drank this time?
I don't want Patrick to know this. But I didn't have a drop. I could have used a drink, but I checked myself in here. The urge was just overwhelming. It's all on the chart.
Sorry. I jumped to conclusions. You did the right thing.
I'll be back in my son's face in no time.
No, your cirrhosis is at end stage. You have to be checked into General Hospital immediately.
No. I go out with who I want, when I want. Robin has nothing to do with it.
The doctor doth protest too much. You seriously hung up on her.
I think the champagne's clouding your perception.
You misunderstand. I'm glad you asked me out. And I plan to enjoy myself.
A woman after my own heart.
Let's part.
Refusing to save your own life. Which part of you dying will help your son?
Help my son? My son doesn't need any help. It's my life. I made my choices. I'll deal with the consequences.
Then why did you check yourself in here? Why don't you just go drink yourself to death somewhere?
I want to go out sober.
To spite Patrick.
I'm going to make Patrick so angry at me. He won't be around to watch me die.
That makes absolutely no sense. I don't understand why you would
I'm
purposely
doing
want to
that
hurt...
because I love my son.
Right, like my father loved me so much that he disappeared for 15 years. That's just an excuse.
I want Patrick to have a good life. I want him to have the life that my wife and I planned for him. The best thing he can do is forget me and the mess I made of my life.
How can you possibly forget about you? You're all he has. problem is, you two are exactly alike. You're way too stubborn to find a way to resolve this.
And you're way too smart to put yourself in the middle of a no-win situation.
Well, I think that can scare me anyway. You're mistaken.
What are you gonna do?
Watch me.
Bring me moved to General. It's not gonna change anything. As soon as I'm strong enough, I'm gonna check myself out. There's not gonna be any operation. Unless you got a spare liver in your purse. I took myself off the donor list.
Will you just stop? You still have a chance, including a donation from a willing son who loves you. That's a lot more than most people could say in your situation.
Most people in my situation have a legitimate reason to have a transplant.
They all have bad livers. It doesn't matter how they got them.
It does to me. My liver's shot because I drank. This wasn't injury or disease. I did it to myself. I earned this.
Did you also earn the right to be your own judge and jury? To decide that you don't deserve to live?
What's this really all about, huh? Is this compassion or a medical ethic, or you just want to look good in my son's eyes?
Realize you're just as narcissistic as Patrick.
Patrick's a brilliant doctor and a good man.
Maybe. But he's also an egotistical, arrogant, self-centered
Hey,
jerk.
where is Patrick? If you took enough trouble to get me here, I'm sure you alerted him, right?
Patrick is doing a procedure right now.
Really? What's her name?
He'll be here. No matter how angry he is with you, you're still his father.
You having a good time?
I'm having a blast.
Good.
Oh, I don't believe this.
Don't try to be cute or sarcastic. I don't have time for it. Neither does your father.
Hey, sport. How was your procedure?
She was great. Thanks for asking. So what's the emergency?
Hey, don't look at me. I wouldn't have busted up your evening if it was my choice.
So where'd you find him? Face down in the gutter? Falling off a bar stool? Stumbling into the OR?
The Shelton Detox Center called and asked for next of kin. So I drove over and picked him up.
Any particular reason why? Father wants to go out on a bender while he's dying of cirrhosis. Let him do it in his own time. Not mine.
He was sober. He checked himself into the clinic so that he wouldn't drink.
If you believe that, you're too naive to have a medical license.
Here's the chart.
Well, I stand corrected. He didn't drink this time. Just for the 10 years prior.
I told you to stay out of this.
Hey, what are you doing?
A couple of shots of vodka and everyone will forget I was here. Especially me. Just get back in bed.